In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a React and Vite responsive menu. This is also known as a hamburger menu, and I will show you why it is called a hamburger menu. But the project is about a React and Vite responsive menu. So no matter which component you click on, it is responsive right away, which is HMR, hot module replacement. So I'm going to be talking about this project. And as you can see here, the menu is here you have kind of a dark menu as well as white color. But if you go to like a playlist, you can see this menu in a nicer way. And each one of them, if you want to see the dark, the whole thing goes dark. And then if you see white, the whole thing is white. So there's a two mode that you can switch between. But at the same time, like if you look at each one of them for the playlist, you can see my playlist for Linux, I mean, not Linux, Ubuntu. It is for all kind of playlists, whether it's direct path to shell scripting, you play this playlist, or direct path to MySQL, or direct path to Linux Ubuntu, the direct path to Python, Oracle Sans Solaris, Visual Studio Code programming, C++, Oracle VirtualBox, and Windows operating system. There's a lot of videos inside each of these playlists. You're welcome to watch it. And if you want to see some of my favorite videos that I have highlighted here, that you can click on the videos and you will see features and videos. So you can watch these videos. Some of them are 4 hours, some of them are 2 hours, some of them are 6 hours, and so on. All of these ones are going to teach you something, whether it's advanced Linux scripting, Bash shell scripting, system automation, Red Hat, FPDF, and so on. All of those ones. Mastering Visual Studio Code, R programming language, MySQL, structured query language, and then Python, and then Linux Rocky, Linux Red Hat, all of them. And then I have some videos on videos in Farsi also, similarly, that these ones are, if you speak Farsi or Dari, which is my mother tongue, that I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan, and I'm honored to be your mentor here, teaching you both in Farsi and as well as in English, that you are welcome to watch these videos. So under the books, I have also online book that you can just go on the books, and then there's about 15 chapters on this book that I wrote, The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, which I'm going to show you on the page much bigger than this screen, but you're welcome to go through these for each of this and download and then start learning. At the same time, under courses, I have some of the Red Hat courses that I taught. And then I have given these ones as free videos that you're welcome to watch. Rocky Linux, and then Bash scripting, Linux Ubuntu. This is about 6 hours video. And then one of two, the 2 of 2 is another 2 hours. R programming language from zero to hero, Solaris operating system, Fedora distribution, mastering Bash scripting, Python programming. This is like an intermediate level for Python, which I teach you string sets, list, tuples, list comprehensions, data dictionary classes, and object-oriented on some of these topics as well. So there's a lot to learn. And then this online chapter 15 of my book that you are welcome to practice Linux operating system on this one, which I can show you on the actual book, or you could just type in the command here. And then when you type in the command, press submit, you will get the output on the screen on your browser. So the command is getting executed on my cloud, on my Linux server, and then the output is on your display on the browser. So if you type in cat -n etc os-release, you see that I'm running Linux Ubuntu. So I must have typed something here. Let me just do correctly. Cat -n etc os release. If you just type the name of the file, it will not show because that file doesn't exist on my server. So it tells you that I have Linux Ubuntu 22.4, and you can also reveal that information from -a and get that information, seeing the kernel build and so on. So if you just type in calendar to see what is this month, current month, I give you the output of that one on the screen. If you say, give me the ls-l listing of files, and then I show you the list of files. If you say, give me date to see what time it is or what date it is, it says June 30, and you can see on my Windows machine it is June 30, 10:07 p.m. and it is 22:07 military time, which is accurate. So if I run the date again, notice that this is 07:24. Now if I submit it, it is 07 something else, 07:45. That means the number of second elapsed, it will show dynamically, it runs the command. So if I say, I run the command ps3, process 3 is stream 3.1, it will just run and give you the output there. But you can also come in on my website, which is MyWebUniversity.com, main page, and then right here, I have a list of buttons. So if you are on the home page, under courses, you saw those ones under home, you see all this page. And then here, you can click on the explore courses, you will see this. And then if you say, take me to your YouTube channel that's in English, and then I'll take you to that one. And that's about 1.7K videos that is online. And then there are classes on cybersecurity, on Docker, and then on Node.js, on mastering C++, or mastering Visual Studio Code, teaching you C, C++, Python, a lot of the courses, Linux, Bash scripting, Windows subsystem, and so on. I'm not going to name each one of them. You could watch it and enjoy it and learn it. And then that's about 1.7K of videos online available for you, and a lot of topics. You're welcome to just watch them and enjoy them and make some nice comments, so I can also be happy that someone is taking advantage of all these resources that I have made, these website and YouTube channels to do it. In addition, if you're on my website, you clicking on, and notice that website is secure page, and these two keys that you're seeing is saying that the connection is secure, which is a SSL certificate, and the certificate is valid. So if you click on it, it says MyWebUniversity owns that certificate as common name, and then the expiration date is like sometime next year, May 26, which I'm going to renew it again. And these are the fingerprints, all of that information is good. But when you're here, if you want to see the 4C channel, you click on here, and then I'll take you to the 4C channel, and about 229 videos. And a lot of it is in 4C and that I speak both languages. So that's why I'm creating these kind of videos for free. So if you're missing college courses because you cannot pay high expensive tuition, these are your chances to learn for free. And then if you're looking for my book, The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, this is the 15 chapters that I made available for you. We just show you example of chapter 15, which was practicing those Linux commands. So here, if you just type in a command and say, like, for example, who, sorry, I mistyped who. So you have to type in who. Why my keyboard is messed up. Okay, so you could see that these commands. If you say date, notice that it's still showing the time. It is 22/11/07, right? And then if I just run date again, notice the time changes again there. So, and this is kind of like a very, very nice way of seeing everything. So if I say calendar 2/1998, I get the second month of 1998. If I say give me calendar 1/1970, that is going to just give me the epoch calendar, which is the Unix epoch since the calendar of Unix started, as you know that already. So, and here you can also, where command is, you can type in your command. df plus -h is going to give me the data format of my disk, the way it is formatted. So you can see the file system and then the partition, everything with including the boot partition and the root partition right here and all of that. So if I want to see cat minus -etc os-release, like I showed you earlier, this is going to just show me the OS release here. So if I say uname -n for node name, that's the name of the node name, the host name. If I type in host name, this is supposed to give me the host name, the same thing as node name. Uname -o for OS version, it is not showing here, but it should show. And then uname, maybe I didn't code it. Sometimes I put this info into a flag file, sometimes in a database. Then I read it and parse it and say, okay, yeah, this command is allowed, this command I'm not going to do it. So if I want to see machine type, for example, it should say x86 64-bit. And then those kind of information is all of that is there in -a option, meaning all. Uname -a. Let's type it, uname -a. I better look at what I'm typing, okay? So this is what that information is. And then at the same time, this is chapter 15. If we go back to the main page, let me just go to delete this stuff here, okay? And then just click on the .com. I'm sorry, my keyboard is funky. Okay, now it's good. So you can see that when you type in this one, it goes there. On the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, I have a number of other things, including chapter 2 for basic Unix and Linux commands, chapter 3 for intermediate, chapter 4 for advanced, chapter 5 for shell scripting, and then these other chapters or Linux Ubuntu online PDF documentation that I wrote. And then chapter 10 is for Rocky Linux. Chapter 11 is for Red Hat, and so on. And then a lot of them, like dynamic generation, you can just go here and then you get a list of PDF files for the version that you want to look at it. So whatever command you click on, I generate you that PDF for it. So another one you could see is like, okay, this dynamic generation that I just was telling you, I click on the wrong button. Now I'm clicking on the right button. If you want that ZSH information, I already created the PDF for you. And then you're welcome to do a Control F, search for HTTPS, and then get all the documentation from ZSH SourceForge or something. So there's a lot of ZSH HTTPS kind of things. So when you search for it, notice there's 8 of them. If you type and click on the zsh.org, this is the public directory, and you can see all the tar.ganzip file for ZSH that you want to download. If you want to get to the main page of zsh.org, this is the main page. And if you might want to say, let me go to the English version, somewhere here, the United States of America, the United States, and there's Finland and Netherlands and so on. So let's say you go to the United States, and then under the documentation, you can say, show me the manual pages, or show me whatever you want to click on here. And then now on the manual pages, you have PostScript, PowerScript, PDF, and then, so if I'm interested only on PDF, I click on this one, the whole PDF file of ZSH is explained chapter by chapter. And each one of them you go, you just read the details. And if you want the HTML version of it, is right here, HTML version. You click on it, and then the HTML file comes in. And then if you want to see the browsable, not the tar.ganzip file that I click on, you could see that the whole commands are there. So something like you're looking for errors, let's say you just see all that. You're looking for a for statement, do a Control F and then say for, and then for loop or something, it's gonna most likely one of these two is gonna show login and this. And then let's see a for statement. And then this is coming more with the let me just try to search while loop. Okay, or okay, somehow control job control or branching or looping. It should have it under some one of those things. But most likely, if I look at the whole documentation and open some of these other ones, I could find it there. It is, then you can see all these examples with different ones. So ZSH clone modules and this and that. So there's a lot of the utilities and functions you can see. Then we see that here's the if statement. But I know all of those on the syntax. I could just open a terminal and then log into my shell scripting, which give me a second. I need to type in the password. And so my password on this one, I just have to do a verification code with Google kind of verification and having the authentication through two-factor authentication. And then after that one, I log in. So I'm not gonna just leave this screen while I'm recording. I'm gonna pause the recording for a second and then we do it after. So the simple way that you could do two-factor authentication with Google Authenticator, once you set up that one, it's going to prompt you for a PIN that you provide a PIN number or two-factor authentication number. In addition, you provide your password. Now you get a prompt of the shell. So this is my screen already that it is established with the connection. So if I clear my screen here, type in host name, you can see like cat -n etc OS-release. It is the same version of 24.02. Earlier, when I did a uname -o, I said I didn't program it, but if I go and modify my CGI script to add that list, I could do that as well on the server side. So let me just do that one. I'm gonna pause for one more second or one more minute and then update the proper file, and then I come back and then test it from the web also. Okay, I told you that since I did not program the uname-o option on the web server, it was not showing GNU Linux. But I went to the binary and I updated the file that I needed to update it. So now my command would work. If I just come back on the same page and I say type in uname-o for operating system version, I'm getting the output GNU Linux similar to what I'm getting on the terminal. So every command that you program, it is going to work. Like for example, pwd would work there. And then if I just see the output is user let bin CGI. However, on this one, I'm on a different directory. So if I just do a pwd, it shows that. But if I go to the directory where my script is, it's going to show that. But based on the path that is there. So the original path was there, and then that's where I was on the original path right here. Okay. So this is Unix and it's dynamic. If I run date command here, and then that's, you can see 10/27/56. But if I just run date now, it's 10/28/05. So just whatever time it is past that one, right? It is showing you that I'm running from that server 10/28/18, and on the server was something similar and seconds different, 05 versus 28. Okay, and then every time you see it's running dynamically. That's all I'm telling you, that this is the web server. The whole thing is dynamic. As long as you're just going on this page, you should see all this interface in a very nice way, that this is all available for you. You can go to practice simple arithmetic, and then you will be presented with this one, which is a JavaScript page that it shows all these division, multiplication, power functions. If you just are doing something like division of, let's say 5 divided by 2, then you can see 2.5, you get it. And if you just decrease that number to a 0, let's say division by 0 is not allowed, so you say division by 0 is not allowed, and then you get the output. And if you change that one to a 1, then you click on result, you get the output. If you right click here and then inspect it, you can see that the Java console, it tells you all the output that we did here. At the same time, you could run JavaScript code like math.pal of to the power of 5, that would be 32, and to the power of 10 is 1024. You could also say to the power of 10, that would also produce you 1024. So a lot of the functions and that you're writing in JavaScript is available here, as well as the command lines within JavaScript or Node.js stuff. So I'm going to also introduce you to Node.js website, because Node.js is very cool. And then you could just get all of this documentation from Node.js. And if you just forgot about it, don't worry about it, because on my page, I have all kind of documentation and it's available for you that you could go and search. As an example, if you go to this chapter says dynamic generation of HTML, and the other one, if you type in instead of ZSH, type in Node, then I'll just generate you the documentation in PDF on the fly Node.js documentation Node. So this is a Node documentation, but this is only 10 pages. So if you look at this one and you want to see, go to nodejs.org, Control F here, then search for HTTPS. Once you press Control F, you type in HTTPS. Now I show you all the URLs that are there as a reference. So nodejs.org is one of the pages that takes you there. And then here you can just go to the download and install a Node.js for the version of operating system. You can do it. This is the similar version with Alpine Linux, but you can do all kind of it depending on whether you want to do it on Windows or Mac or Docker or just running in PM. All of those ones are available for Node. And then if you want to run it as a container, you do it as a Docker. If you want to run it with NPM, with Ubuntu, then you're going to do apt install stuff. If you do it at Red Hat, you do it at DNF or Yum repository to install it. So the package manager important, and then how you download it is important for what operating system that you need it, whether you need it for Windows, .msi or the binary. All of those options are available for every architecture that is out there. Mac, Linux, Unix, Windows, and Node.js is pretty cool. When you install Node.js, it also comes out with NPM, which is stand for Node Package Manager. It also has the NVM, Node Version Manager, and there's a lot of other stuff that you can create with Node NPM commands, including the React and Vite, which I will show you next. So this is very, very cool if you have to do this stuff, and it is priceless. Basically, you could just benefit it a lot. And then I'm going to close one of these pages because I don't want you to get overwhelmed with all these pages, since I show you a couple of them. And then the other one that I want to show you on this website that is important. So if you're looking for any documentation, whether it's Red Hat or the Ubuntu or other ones, come in on one of my chapter 2, 3, or 4. Let's say you go on 4. I have a lot of documentation for each of these 88 commands. You can click on them Like for example, let's say I showed you the PS3 command. You can run that command and just get an output on the display here for system D processes, as well as you can go to get the manual pages for it in HTML file. And if you say, give me the PWD, I just generated it there. Give me the date command, and you just do it. Give me the scanf for the header files of include standard IO.h. You could just include it on your C program libraries and so on. So if you are looking for something that is and these commands, you're welcome to see them. But at the same time, if they're a little bit more than just a command and that it requires security, I'm documenting it for you here. At the same time, if you're looking for chapter 3, and then there are commands like change mode, change ownership, change group, a lot of these ones require security. So I'm not going to allow it on the system to be executed, but I give you like a book, what is change mode and what is octet number representing for read write execute for 7 and read write dash means 6 and so on. All of that went with UMask and how they're converted. I explain it to you example by example. And then I show you some of those examples that you can practice it online. If you just feel like, okay, yeah, I need to run this command, you can click on these ones as well, and you can just practice it on my server, saying, what does df-h do? Here's the output. What is dh-f? H means human readable, F means file system is extended for file system, and then here's the output. And if you just want the manual pages for it, you just click here and there. And if you want PDF version for the same documentation, obviously you have to go to my docs, which is, I have it on each of these chapters, I have this Linux and Windows technical documentation in PDF format. There's more than 60,000, I believe, technical documentation on this page, PDF, and then for Linux, Windows, PowerShell, Linux, Red Hat. When I say Windows and Linux, Windows and help, and then PowerShell is Windows, but Linux, Rocky, Linux, Red Hat, Linux, Ubuntu, or Linux. So you can see how many thousand of them are there. So if you're looking for like Rocky Linux, just click on this one. This is about 11,000. And if you're looking for Python, for example, type in Python here. Then I say Python 3.9, and I give you the documentation here. And if you do a Control F, search for Control F, let me just do Control F, HTTPS, then you see that python.org, and now you're on the python.org website, and there's hundreds of thousands of documentation, modules and downloads and everything here for you available. You're welcome to explore it and learn it and practice it. And if you have any question, watch my videos on these topics. I explain it NumPy modules or request modules or OS modules or assess modules. A lot of these modules, I explain the for statement, that data structure like list, tuples, data dictionaries, sets, and classes, everything. And so, and just watch those videos. You're welcome to learn from them. And then when you go back here, notice that this documentation that I generated, I gave full credit to MyWebUniversity, which is my website, Python programming language, which I learned how to write code like this, that I take HTML from Linux, text from Rocky Linux manual pages, and I convert it using free PDF library, as well as Python, as well as I posted on MyWebUniversity.com and have a presentation page like this in a very nice format that you can just find all of these thousands of documents. That this HTML page was generated by my shell script, which is bash. So everything you click on, you get that information on about that topic that you do. And then if you go to, like, for example, Red Hat, and you say, okay, can you give me GCC compilers and stuff? So do a Control F, type in GCC, And let's see if it is not there. GCC, most likely it is not there. So I did not generate it for that one, but most likely I did it for Linux Ubuntu because I did use it on that one. Control F, I search for GCC and you can see GCC 25 of them. So one of this one is this is NB GCC and then so on. So let's see if the page comes up faster by searching GCC or GCC right there, 11.11.1. So the version that I'm showing here as PDF is GCC 11, and that's about 576 pages here. And then obviously if you or using like OpenMPI or other ones, OpenMP or any kind of HPC, high performance computing for parallel programming, and then you can search for those one also. Not this how many of theirs. OpenACC is another one that is there. OpenMPI and OpenMP is there. So let's see if there's anything with HTTPS. Yeah, there's openacc.org. So you can come in here and then look at their documentation and everything on Open and see ECC. And this is, you could tell the Pragma code that could run and then smooth out and run it in parallel computing to speed up your processors with FPGA and not FPGA, with GPU, which stands for graphic processing unit, and versus CPU, which is central processing unit. So all of these codes will run in parallel within this for statement, and this pragma is the directive that you pass on to your program. So there's a lot on this documentation. You will never be bored with. You can find millions of other documentation on the server once you visit one of these ones. And then what else I could show you here? I think I don't want to go too much detail, but I want to show you something with Windows also. With Windows, there's one nice feature that, for example, if you type in and search for help itself and say what is help on it, and then 2 of 10. So here, PDF file for help, and it's very short. It just says command help on help. It just says help, whatever command you do. So if you open a command prompt here and just say help, it is just giving you all those information. If you just say clear screen, let me say clear screen, and you say help CMD, you will see that the output is for CMD there. But this is commandlet of Windows. If I go to DOS, sorry, clear screen, if I do type in command, and now I see all the list of commands. And then if I, instead of using PowerShell, if I do CMD here and open a command prompt, which is this, and then right here, I say help, notice help on help, it's telling me exactly what I showed you on the display. Help on volume, it shows you volume. Help on version, it tells you version. Help on CMD, it tells you all the option with the CMD. So now I'm going to close this one because I don't need to go to each one of them. And then on this PowerShell, you can get the help or get dash help on the command. And whatever the command is, get dash command is, for example, will show you all of that. And get dash process will actually run get your process command. The alias PS is stand for get dash process. You could also type in PS and it's going to do that one. Get child item, which is stand the directory command. So directory of the command is going to give you the same thing. Alias get child item, you see it's get child item. Alias dir is doing that. PWD get location. Alias PWD, you see it's get location. So you could run the command get location will do the same thing. There's a lot of stuff like alias for CLS, that stand for clear host. Alias for clear is also clear host. So whether I type in CLS or I type in clear directory and then I type in clear or and say PWD and then say clear host, all of those ones PowerShell stuff. So I'm not gonna just explain PowerShell here. I just was in this method of doing it. And now I'm just going to say, if you click on this page to audio, you can just read all of this line by line. So it is going to read it for you in audio like format. Look at it.
For more information on a specific command, type help command name ASSOC displays or modifies file extension associations. Attrib displays or changes file attributes. Break sets or clears extended control plus C checking.
So you get the idea. If you just want to read the bottom of it, just go up here and then just maybe click here and start reading it.
Ver displays the Windows version. Verify tells Windows whether to verify that your files are written correctly. To a disk. Volume displays a disk volume label and serial number. XCOPY copies files and directory trees. WMIC displays WMI information inside interactive command shell. For more information on tools, see the command line reference in the online help.
So you can see that it read everything, and you can practice on all of these commands like that to understand. And if you're interested in PowerShell, go to this one. There's 7,000 and there. And like I showed you that get dash process, you could do Control F and get type and get dash process, and this PDF file is available for you on the get dash process. So just click on it and then read it and then understand it. And notice that again, I give credit to MyWebUniversity, Python, free PDF, and Windows commandlet for PowerShell, which I generated from and that documentation, which was a text. So if I'm on that PowerShell here, the command would be get dash help and get dash process. This would give me all the information. If I want it by examples, then I have to say this dash example. And then that would give me examples also. Or you could just, if you're in front of a Windows machine, say dash online. And then it will just open the get dash process on Microsoft website and read it for, it's there for you to read it and practice it. But I'm not going to just concentrate on this one because I wrote the Python program to generate these thousands of documentation for you in a PDF format already, and it's available for you as resources. You don't have to be on a Windows machine to see PowerShell or Windows command, or you don't have to have a Linux server to get a Red Hat or Rocky or Linux Ubuntu documentation. Everything is on one site, MyWebUniversity.com. You're welcome to just explore and study it, whether you use your cell phone or your laptop or iPad. All you need is a browser, internet access, and the desire to learn at your own pace. So it is your choice, okay? So I'm going to go to the actual main page, and I'm going to start the lecture for the actual course that I'm going to discuss this one today. And the presentation was just to show you what these menus were and how to use those menus and what are the resources available for you. So now let's get to this slideshow. And then with this one, as you can see here, the home courses, books, videos, and DAVI and videos and playlist is my title of, my kind of menu content, whatever is the menu. And then you can see here on the dark mode, which is you can click on this one and then change it to white color. This interface, the pages that I put, this is just a React because I just generated. This logo is kind of like a picture of React to just say React is fast, and Vite stands for fast in French. So the person that wrote Vite originally named it after a French word, meaning it's fast. It is really fast in terms of how it reacts, and React is very responsive. Responsive menu, meaning that no matter what button you click on, no matter where in the dialog box or the menu that you do, everything is hot module replacement and running and reacting right away to your response. User interactivity is very, very efficient. So let's get started with the next one right here. And this one is how to create a React and Vite hamburger menu. What you saw here, you can zoom in and then show you that this is a hamburger menu. And I'm gonna do a step-by-step guide to building a responsive menu, so you understand how this hamburger menu works. The reason it's called hamburger menu, that if you shrink the size of the browser page, then you will see, instead of the entire page, the entire menu, you will see kind of three lines as kind of like a symbol of hamburger. So the meat is in the between, and the patties are on the top. So you can see that when you do this one, the content will just shrink like this. And I'm going to show you that one also on the server before doing more on the hamburger React menu, because that one is what you need here. So let's get back to here. And if you can see here, if I just click on this one and resize this one, notice automatically it changes to hamburger menu. But if I just make it bigger, it will go to this. So if I go here and say, let's resize it and see how it reacts, and right away you can see the hamburger menu is there, which means I can click here and I get home, courses, books in there. But if I just click here, the home and courses, books is like that. So that's what it means by hamburger menu, that you shrink it, is there. And similarly, like if you are on the Google page, notice the menu is going to show you this, then you can see that one. So this is good for a smaller screen, like if you're on a iPad or maybe on iPhone or Android. All of these smaller devices have a smaller screen. So if you just want to see it on a smaller screen, you should have the option to see it like that. And notice that my website is like that too. So if I close this one, you can see it. If I want it dark, I could get the whole thing in dark. And then if I want it white, I get the whole thing in white. At the same time, the hamburger menu is showing here. If I go to courses, it's going to open up the courses here. And if I just say change it to dark, it will change it to dark. And then at the same time, these interfaces, the way I coded it is just a React combination with component. Each in the source directory, each of these ones are different components, and each component has their own kind of functions that you could just write it and just reuse it. They are called reusable code interface. So let's go back to the topic that we were here, and then we're going to discuss that further. So notice that this one is the hamburger menu, and then the next screen, I'm going to talk about agenda for today's session. So we're discussing introduction to React and Vite, what React is and what Vite is, setting up the development environment, building the hamburger menu components, integrating the hamburger menu into application, which you saw the entire application that was integrated with the hamburger menu, and enhancing the hamburger menu. The enhancement, how much you can do it, it depends on your time and it depends on your resources, what flexibility in terms of CSS and other design and animation and other ones you add onto it, it makes it more robust here. So with introduction to React and Vite, as you notice, this is kind of like objects that are moving around and everything. But this is what this mean by dynamic generation, and then doing a React kind of component modules that each one of them interact with something that is bound together, integrated with some linkage or some routes and some Vite components, some React components. All of those ones is very, very nice because they are integrated, and it is very efficient, very fast, very robust. So overview of React. React is reusable UI, user interface component, which you could write it in JavaScript and TypeScript and a lot of other languages that support it, HTML, CSS, and React itself, Vite itself. So a lot of it, and you could do UI component because they're node-based or JavaScript-based or TypeScript. So you could easily modify the UI interface that is very, very interactive. React that enables development of reusable UI components, simplifying the management of complex user interface and promoting code efficiency. So by modularizing, by making it component-wise, now you can reuse those components. That's how the simplicity and development interactivity becomes easier. And this is based on the DOM object, document object model, which is JavaScript, but React is on memory. So it's called the virtual DOM optimization. Virtual meaning that it runs on memory. It is not the actual physical DOM. So the HTML code and other ones, you still have to render it through CSS and React components, but it runs on memory. That's why it's fast and efficient, and it's called virtual DOM, virtual document object model. With the virtual DOM object model, React optimizes rendering performance, ensuring that updates are efficient and user experience are smooth. That's what's important about it. So on this page, I'm showing you introduction to Vite. What is Vite about? Vite, as I mentioned, it stands for, in French, for fast or quick, something that runs very fast, very efficient, and it has odd module replacement. Odd module replacement is based on ES modules. A native of browser support ES module, and then with ES module, Vite can use their component and their software to just do hot module replacement, meaning that when you change something, everything is lightning fast. So Vite offers lightning fast hot module replacement, allowing developer to see changes in real time without full page reload. So I'm going to show you that one a number of ways later on with hot module replacement. Remember this term, HMR, and then I'm going to show you in examples how fast this changes is taking place without reloading the page or refreshing the page in other ones. So what other I have here is simple configuration. Yeah, there's a vite.config.js or vite.config.mjs module JavaScript, and then once you update that one, automatically it takes effect efficiently with ES modules. By leveraging native ES modules in the browser, Vite provides an efficient workflow that minimizes build times and improve performance. So your browser already has the native ES modules. Vite uses that one, the native ES module, and then it makes the workflow so smooth and minimize time and everything. Benefit of using Vite and React. Obviously, enhance development speed. The speed is very fast, and you can read the text here. Simplify build process. The build process is much more automated and simpler. I show you that one also. Modern JavaScript. You can do JavaScript, you could do TypeScript, and you could do all kind of activity here. Here I'm showing you the development environment. Like if you could see the Docker, sometimes when you have these containerization with Vite and React, you actually doing something similar, not exactly the word Docker, but or container or image. You're using it as component, but each component is a function in JavaScript or TypeScript that you write and then once and you reuse it as many times as you want it. That's why. So each of these component or functions could be just reused again and again and again and again. For example, these things that you put it on the development process to just ship items, that is just that item created once, then no matter how many items, what different items you place on it, it will just do the same thing. So when you create the function or component, you could sometimes use that button with green button, sometimes with red button. It is just a different UI interface. Installing Node.js and NPM. So as I showed you on, you go to nodejs.org website, you can install Node.js. It comes out with Node.js, Node, as well as NPM. NPM stands for Node Package Manager. And this one, once you install it, you can run it on Node and NPM. You can run it on Linux, you can run it on Mac, and you can run it on Windows. So ensure the installation is done, the runtime, Node.js libraries are available, managing dependencies. For every project, make sure the version and the dependencies are meeting. And then after that one, the Node modules is having all the dependencies. So your installation, configuration, everything is consistent across the board. And then the next thing is setting up Vite. So to set up Vite, I'll show you how to set up Vite also. You basically run the npm create a Vite at latest, and then if you want to follow it by the name of your project, you could do that one. Otherwise, it will prompt you. So you type in npm space create space Vite at latest, and then if you just don't give the name, it will just prompt you. If you do give the name, it will create that name for you. I'll show you that one also. Preparing Vite for React. Setting up the framework. So when you do the npm create Vite at latest, then the next step after the project is going to prompt you for whether you want to use the React framework or something else. So if you use React, then it's going to prompt you, do you want to use JavaScript or TypeScript or something else? So all of those options are at the time of creation, and I will show you that one. Building the hamburger menu component. So when you just want to build a hamburger menu, I show you my production machine that I have already built. I showed you the interface, and I'll show you the code next. So you will understand how to create each component, why you're creating those each component. If you do a component like the classes or courses or book, and then you have to do that one component. Creating the menu component structure. So defining menu structure. For each step that you do, you have to know what JSX file you're doing it for videos, what JSX file you're doing for books, for home, and so on. I'll show you all of that for apps and everything. Menu item layout. The layout of the interface, how it's going to lay out on the system, and how the hamburger menu is going to show. It's all your design with CSS and everything. Menu toggle button. The toggle button, like I was showing you, the toggle button for dark mode versus white mode. You have those toggle button. You can do that one. And then the styling, obviously, you can do CSS with animation, some drop down, some buttons, some appealing menus. It's all your choice how you do the overall layout. And then the dark mode and then white mode, I show you here, there's two other buttons that you can program and say, I don't want the dark or white, I want blue or red. So when they click on red button, everything on the menu, and then the interface changes to red. And when they click on the blue button, everything changes. So that's how you use the menu to determine, and then all of these ones have their own state. So when you go to the red state, that's just updating everything with red color. And then when you're on the blue state, React is going to react responsive to that button. Integrating the hamburger menu into application. So here, this is just the hamburger menu, but this is the entire application. I'm providing you documentation on my other pages and going to YouTube channel. So this is almost like not just the menu. Inside this menu, you can get to those videos, and then you can also open up the channel in different languages, and then explore courses and get into the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, 15 chapters, and then you can also get to math and modules with JavaScript. So the entire application is all kind of dynamically integrated together to work with you, no matter what you desire to click on. Adding the menu to the main layout. So adding the menu to the main layout, I already showed you on this phase. This is the menu, and the main layout is this. So when you're adding it hamburger menu component, make sure that the functionality of the hamburger menu works for the desktop, the laptop, the iPad, and the cell phone. So on different things. And then enhance accessibility. Enhance accessibility is very important for people with disability. You want to just make sure that they're able to read it or do scan, read from the text that is there for people that they have disability to read something they cannot see. And then all of that information, accessibility is very important. Managing the state with React hooks. This is how your components are going to be integrated together with React hooked, and there's route and routers, and then browsers, all of that option, how you React hook with the source code. I'll show you those one next. Testing the menu interactions. So obviously everything that you do on the page, you have to test it to make sure the experience is very smooth, and then user interface are very smooth and works everything as you desire. Enhancing the hamburger menu. This is all your choice of how much you want to enhance it. Obviously, everybody has their own design structure. They have their ideas to implement, and then based on how much you have in terms of your development time and resources available to you, you will just perform better and better as you progress. Adding animation and transition. Animation and interactivity brings life to your websites. So if you're just doing this kind of work on static pages, nobody's interested to read text messages anymore. Even if you just make a content that's very, very robust, if people don't have the desire to spend time on it, that's your time wasted. So please make sure that when you do some of these work, as websites are modernized, you have to just update your websites. Make sure that first of all, it's secure website, and that it's not just unsecure. And there's a lot of things I have discussed on the security of your website and your data and how you protect yourself. You should have a very good understanding of that one. Animation is just look and feel of it, right? If it looks great and then the functionality is great, that's even better. But if the functionality is great, it doesn't look great, you might not get anybody's interest to watch it there, no matter how good the functionality is. Making the menu responsive. So this one you can see here at the desktop, and then right here you can see like an iPad, and right here is an iPhone or Android phone. So on each one of these ones, the interface should be very responsive. Responsive design meaning that if you are an iPad or iPhone, that does not mean that you should lose some kind of UI interface or functionality or something. So if they resize the window, you should see all the components still. That's the menu layout should be all good to go. Here, the person is using a laptop, but you can see all the people in there. That kind of information is also making sure that it's accessible. Accessibility doesn't mean that, okay, it's available online. Accessibility means that if somebody has disability, they can read your text and they can just look at the information and or have some hearing problem, they can just still have accessibility. So hamburger menu design, implementing best practice in hamburger menu design, enhance usability for all user, including those with disabilities. Okay. So here I'm showing you the content of my vite.config.mjs, MJS for module JavaScript. And then normally when you install, it will be a file called vite.config.js for JavaScript. But because I wanted to modularize it, I put the MJS. Then some of the functions and stuff that I did, I had to update it accordingly. So here we're doing importing Vite and all of the file system and React component and everything. And then export default define config basis root, and then React, and then server part is important. If you're using port 3000, you just change this one to port 3000. If you want to listen to like mine was HTTPS, so I'm doing through Apache web server. And then some of other ones I could configure it here on the hamburger menu. You can see here I'm running through HTTPS for the certificate that I did for Apache. This key server.key is the private key, and this is the actual certificate. But this server.key should be protected, should not be readable by anybody but root on your system. And then watch, use pool and all that information, and these directives are there. At the same time, I have a deploy script. I called it the deploy5.sh. And this one is basically doing the deployment of this web page. Every time I make changes to the source component of my React, if I just add the videos and DARI or remove something, courses or books, then I want to just redeploy. The way you do it is I just did it on bash script, running this script with env bash, saying that load the bash shell script, and I wrote this information copyright to MyWebUniversity. Then now app.dir is my production directory for React, where my web server is listening on Apache. And then app project directory is var.react. So I'm going to cd to that one, and if that directory does not exist, the app.dir does not exist, then it exists out because I must have modified something, change it, or moved my web server to somewhere else. So I want to just exit out and don't continue here. But if that one exists, then I say echo building React Vite application. Then I run the npm run build. npm run build will just build it, the application. And then if this one fails, then I say echo failed and exit one. If it exit one, then it's not going to continue. But if npm run build runs, and this OR statement is not going to be executed. So this is succeeded, then it's going to go to this line 14, backing up content deployment. So I first need to back up my asset.old and index.html also. And then actually not backup, I removed it. I remove minus RF means recursively with file, forcing it. Forcing it R means dash R means recursively, F means forcing it. So asset.old and index.html.old will be deleted. Then I say if directory asset exists, then move asset to asset.old. Now this asset.old gets recreated if that directory exists assets there. Then I say, okay, at this time I'm going to say if index.html exists, move index.html.old. Remember that this line in line 15 was deleting it. Now, since I removed those ones, they don't exist. Now I have to, in order to, for me to just have this one, and these other ones has to be renamed to the old one. Then I say echo deploying new build. Now I run the copy minus RP. Minus R means recursively, P means preserve the path. Desk directory is stored. Whatever was on the desk from this npm run start, I'm going to copy that one to the current directory dot, which is means on this directory, appdir, because I cd to appdir earlier here on line 9. So then I say, okay, that's done. When this one is copied, done, then I want to make sure the permissions or dash data with the group permission of dash data for appdir. Then I do it recursively minus uppercase R. So all of the subdirectories and files changes with this permission. Then I restart Apache Web Server. After restart Apache Web Server, I check the status to make sure Apache is up and running. That's all my deployment. And by this time, I'm going to conclude this video. But before I conclude this video, I'm going to show you now in action all of the things that I earlier told you. I'll show you. Okay, so let me show you. So this is what I meant by I'll show you. So on the system, if I become here, I'm going to become root here first. And I'm gonna make this screen bigger. I'm gonna retype the root. I mistyped it earlier. And now I typed it, I say ID-UN and there. So I'm going to go to var react and then prod. I believe that's the path, right? So I say systemctl status Apache 2. Notice that Apache 2 is running my Apache web server. And then if I clear the screen again here, say, okay, Apache is running. The content of my cat -n deploy 5.sh, it was this script that I just explained to you. I'm not going to explain it again. And the content of vite.config.mjs, this file, cat -n v.config.mjs, you can see it's this file. And then as you can see, I'm listening of that one and port HTTPS on the certificate. So on this directory, I also have a node underscore modules. And let me do ND. Notice that a node underscore modules. This is all my modules for a node version. So if I say which node, you can see node dash version, I'm running node version 22.17. npm dash version, I'm running npm 10.9.2. And then inside the node underscore modules is all my modules and dependencies. Everything that is required here, I just have all those dependencies based on the version that is there, okay? So when you do these activities with npm install and other ones, which I'm going to show you on my Windows machine, doesn't matter if you're using Windows machine, Mac, or other ones, when you create a node, npm, and Vite, they're mostly the same, with including Visual Studio Code. So I can run my Linux Ubuntu server here as a virtual machine and not use my production to do this one. I could come in here and say MyWebUniversity. Let's see if this one is my Linux Ubuntu server. I could just show you a little bit on that one. But at the same time, I already showed you on the Linux. While this one is booting, I'm gonna just try to show you things on Windows, okay? So this is booting up on my Linux Ubuntu server. Now you can see it is trying to come up. It is going to be up soon, maybe less than a minute or so. And then you can see it is booting the recovering journal on the CD1. Sometimes when you did not shut down gracefully, you might see that it's recovering some inode structure on those boot loader or dev3 in this case, but it is going to come up okay. So at the same time, I want to open a Windows PowerShell command here. So notice that I'm on a PowerShell here. So if I go to a directory like on the root partition here, I have to say which and which does not work on Windows. So this is system info, and then this is Windows 11, but I'm on inside PowerShell. So you can see here if I say Windows, Microsoft Windows 11, right? I could also do clear screen here, say system info, and then find string/I and search for OS, and you can see that it is Windows 11 in a few lines. But if I change that one to a find command, rather than a string, it's one line information. So depending on how you want to take a look at it, find is not showing on that one, but if I go to CMD on DOS, and then I say system info, and now find command is there /I, and on OS, and then you can see depending on where you are on the operating system, there's a list of things that's available for you. So let me exit out of that one, clear screen. Now I'm back on the PowerShell and get dash host. That is telling me that I have PowerShell 7.5. And you can see if I put this one like an object in PowerShell, get dash host. And then I say, give me the version dot major, it will say 7. Version dot minor, it is 5. Or just give me the full version without the major or minor, it will tell you 7.5.1. So all of that information is there. If you just did it like that, and then without any version, you will see the details of it like that. That's like a hash table, a key value pair. The key is this, the value is this, key is this, the value is this. So each one of them, like if I want to say build getHost.ui, you could see that that component comes in and .ui key pair value, that's the value, right? So you get the idea. Now on PowerShell, I want to go to this directory called demo, and then I'm going to say go to React-Vite project, and then I'm doing a directory. Notice I have done a little bit already on that one, but I'm going to do something new. So I'm going to say npm version, and then it tells you a lot more than just that one, right? All the modules. But if you say dash version, you see one line information, and then node dash version, it excuse me, it tells you the node version. Okay, so now you have that one. I'm going to just quickly show you how to create a Vite React project. So let's get started with that one. I'm going to say npm create Vite at latest. So if I do this one, it's going to create Vite. It's going to prompt me for a project name. But if I want a project name, say a demo-project, you could just type in demo-project. Now it says the project name is demo-project. Notice the uppercase changed to the demo project, which does not allow the uppercase letters, which is fine. You say, yeah, go ahead, use the demo-project. And it says the invalid Java name. So if I do this one with lowercase, it's going to just do it. It says that's accepted. Okay, demo-project. Now, and it says what framework you want to use. The framework are vanilla, Boost, React, Preact, and Let, and then a lot of them, right? I want to just use React. So I'm going to just go down here on React and press the button. Then in here it says okay, what type of variant of you want to select? TypeScript, JavaScript, TypeScript plus something else, and then all of that one, I want to just do JavaScript. So you can do that on JavaScript. Now it has done this one, then it says, okay, at this time you can go to the demo project. It created the demo project, but in order to install that actual Node.js, you need to run npm install and then run npm dev to start it. So I'm gonna just do a dir here. Now notice that demo dash project is there. If I go to demo dash project and do a dir, notice that there's source directory source, and all the source are here. The JSX files are there, index, main, and app are there. All you need is, and then under the source assets are your assets. So the pictures and images and SVG file for React and Vite are all in there. At the same time, the content of like type source slash app.jsx. This is your main file that it gets started. The main calls the apps, and then apps loads your stuff right here. So if I go to the main.jsx, and then you can see main calls the app, import app from apps, and then right here there's the mode create root document, get element by ID, render the app. Once the app is rendered, it opens the app that I told you earlier with this, and this is going to just show you that React. So in order to show you in a very smoother that way, clear screen, this was the directory that was there. Index.html is by default there. The index.css file is somewhere there, and then the package.json is there, and then your vite.config.js. Notice that if you do vite.config.js, this one is just no information about the server, because inside that package.json, it tells you how to just start it there. All of the information with dependencies, all of that one is on the package.json. Every dependency and their versions are there. Okay. So there's other directories that I will show you at some point, but at this point, you're not interested on this. This public is also the v.cfg, and then we showed you that get.ignore is sometimes you want to ignore the node underscore modules, or some stuff that you don't want to upload it into your Git repository, you want to just put it on the get.ignore file, all of the directories. So if I, on this directory, I supposed to do npm install, and then that will install the node underscore modules. So if you do this one here, it is basically running the dependencies from the package.json. It will install all those dependencies with their versions on it, and then at this time it is done. So notice this, the node directory is this there. So if I say let's run code here, and then before we do further, I could do it from code, or I could do it from command line here, say npm run dev, and then it's there. If you just don't give any dev or pub or something, then it gives you the option, say npm run dev or build or lint or preview. So a lot of those options are very flexible. I usually do npm run dev or build, and then preview is also going to give you a Vite preview, but those are options. So when you do the npm run, notice that the option for build, it says build Vite build. It's basically when you run npm run build, it runs Vite build. If you run dev, it just runs Vite, npm run Vite. So let's get started before we run npm and this. Since we did the install, if I just say open dot, no, not open dot. Let's say from I could open it from Explore here, and then go to that directory. Let me just go to that directory where I have it. I'm gonna go to this PC, and then click on demo, and then React and Vite. Now notice the demo, the React project. It is all available here, right? Inside here, that node modules is all of these modules are there. But I could also look at this node module from the command line. So node underscore modules, cd to that one, do a dir, and everything is there, right? So if I just say, okay, that's good. Let's just run the file, and one of them, I want to just open code here. So if I just don't want to open any file, I could open it, but if I want to just open the JS, vite.config.js, then you will see that file is open here. Okay, so let's close this one, and I say don't open anything, just open code from here, from this directory dot. Meaning that open this one, and then whatever is that one, that directory will automatically be loaded for you. The welcome page comes in and close it. Now notice the code is right here, all of that. Okay, so this was our directory structure. If I go back onto minimize these ones, and let me just say what, okay, right here under the public, you saw that file. Under source, you have these files, asset app.css. This is the cascaded style sheet for app. You don't need it, you can just remove it later or update it based on your need. The .ignore files, or what are the files that you want to ignore. The node underscore modules, you should definitely put that one in there as a directory, because you don't want to put it on your GitHub. But this is my project that I'm not gonna push it into the GitHub, so that's why I don't need to touch that one at this time. And checks.json, this is really to check your Vite configuration that is good on that one. And then index.html file, this is your default index.html page, which shows you the SVG and other stuff for initial opening up the main.jsx. Main.jsx later on calls the app.jsx, and app.jsx opens the page. So this is all there here, right? And then you can see this file and the one. The package.json shows you all your dependencies for the Vite project. So now if I'm on this one, I want to show you on the terminal here. Let me just open a terminal. Under setting, I could go to, let's see, where's command palette and profile, setting, themes, snippet. So right here under edit, you can also open a terminal, say new terminal, and then you get a terminal on the bottom here. Okay, there's a lot of ways that you can open a terminal, but I just show you here what it is. Since I'm on that directory demo projects, I could say, okay, show me everything that I could see that one. Now I'm gonna say npm run dev. And then because that directory is there, now it already opened my Vite project on localhost 5173. So if I press Control and then click on this button, it's supposed to open up the browser. Let me just do that. Yeah, it opened up the browser on port localhost port 5173. Notice that this counter is, as I click on it, it is incremented. So this is what is this Vite plus React project, Vite and React, right? If I want to just edit something on this page and then add a module there and save it, let's go through this part into the app.jsx. So if I go back on the this code and say, okay, go to source, and then open the app.jsx. Notice on the app.jsx, I have this dev section. After this, I could say, okay, delete everything from here to here. Since I'm on a Vim with Visual Studio, I'm going to say delete this line by pressing DD, delete this line, 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 and only keep the div. So right here, I'm going to put a H1 tag, and then it will automatically put for me the closing tag one. Then I say hello world, and I put that exclamation mark. Now I need to save it. Escape Shift W Q. W is good enough. So I'm just saving it. Now I change the saving it, and then right here hello world comes in. How fast it was there? It was that's HMR stands hot module replacement. As soon as you make the change, notice I go here and I change the hello world, and I just add another one, say, let's see, a paragraph, and then I say this is a test, and then save it, W, and let's see, the paragraph shows up. No, it did not show up because now I have two components inside here, so I have to do this one inside like a fragment kind of things, and then I say do this, and then add this one inside here. And now it might show a board component there as this. I don't have to refresh it, but it did not work on this one. So let me just say, I'm not gonna do this tag and this tag. I'm going to just change the hello world to this is a test. You could do that one, and then should work. This is a test. And then I'll show you the way I did it on all those other components by rendering it with fragment, but let's see if first of all, yeah. So that because it had typo, because of that one, it was not rendering it. So Vite is very kind of particular on certain code syntax. So if you're putting in the dev section, if I just do another dev section here, say dev, and then I say h2 tag, and I say this is h2 tag, for example. Let's see if that one is going to render properly within another dev. Yeah, see that? So if you want to do it with fragments, yes, you have option. And if you want to change the color, yeah, everything that you do it on rendering, that's not the subject of this course. And let's say you want to change this port, okay? And you want to change it to port 3000. So right now, if I just go to port 3000, this page is not going to come on React. It's going to just say page not found. But let's see how responsive this page is coming when I modify this file called vite.config.js. So right here, I could put a server component and then just say O for add, escape O for add, new line. And I go to type in server, then colon, and then brace, and then press enter, and then I say port, colon, and then say 3000, and then comma, and then make that comma right here. Now the syntax is valid. You see, there's no line there. If I miss a colon here, and now it says that this bracket parentheses, it says that something is a typo. If I just save this one, notice I go back here, it's not gonna do anything. It did not take effect. But if I just say, oh, and there's a highlighted brace here, let me put a colon here to just make the syntax. So when that error goes away, you save it. Now you're going to come back here, and then this one automatically, it gets refreshed as soon as you are on that page. Notice it is on that page and there. But if I go back to my 51 73 is no longer available. So even though this page is still was showing the previous one, you see that if you refresh it, it's not going to come. Yet if I go to 3000, right away it comes in. And if I just say, I don't like for 3000 because another application might need it, let me just put it on 5000. You save it, and then as soon as you save it, you just come in here, this page is not going to respond. It's gonna, 3000 is gonna fail, and then you change it to for 5000, and then it's going to work. So if you close this one and you say, okay, let me just go on terminal, and then on terminal, you just executed this one. Notice use dash host to expose it. You have all these options to do it. At the same time, if you are on the prompt here, you say npm run dev, again, it's gonna run, and notice that it opens at the port 5001, because 5001 was in use. So if React is smart enough, it says open it on the next port that's there. And then it's going to open that one there, 5000. So if I go back to 5000, because I didn't close it, that also responds. And then 5001 also respond. So it is very, very efficient, very robust, very fast, and very effective. And then if you just go to MyWebUniversity.com here, automatically you get that page, and then you're welcome to get it. I hope this video helped you, and I hope you I earned the credit for you to subscribe to my channel and watch some of my channel, and then help yourself, help your friends and family members that are interested in becoming a developers or IT person or system analyst, programmer, a lot of courses here. Okay, God bless you all. Take care. Bye bye.